Joined now by the Giants beat reporter from The Athletic, Dan Duggan, joining us from his home. Dan, hope all is well there, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. It's a little bit of a different weekend, but it was fun to have some NFL draft to cover.
Well, we know the first round, maybe the second round guys are going to be key contributors. Are there any guys from the third day that you might expect to be a key contributor for this Giants team?
Yeah, I mean, when you get in the third day, you're really just kind of throwing darts at the board and hoping you hit with one. But I think the one guy that definitely has a chance to step right in and contribute is the fourth round pick, Darnay Holmes, the cornerback from UCLA. He's a guy who had a lot of upside, and I think they have a big need at slot corner, and they really didn't address it in free agency. So I think that's a spot where he could maybe step right in and be a starter, and that's an important role because it's been a weakness for the past couple of seasons.
They clearly addressed offensive line, but they left some holes right now. Wide receiver is still remaining pretty much the same. Do you trust that the guys that are on this roster will be able to help Daniel Jones, or do they need to go get another guy?
Well, it was a little surprising, more just based on the strength of this draft. I mean, you heard it was an all-time great wide receiver class, so to have 10 picks and not take any, that was definitely a bit of an unexpected move. But, their top guys, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, I mean, there wasn't a big hole there that needed to be filled. So you'd hope that Slayton maybe takes a step and Shepard stays healthy. I don't think Daniel Jones, if he struggles in year two, will be due to a lack of weapons. So I wouldn't expect him to go, make a splash signing or anything like that after the draft.
They also didn't really address pass rusher, and Dave Gettleman in his post-draft press conference said, it's going to be a pass rush by committee kind of a thing. Are you buying that approach?
Again, what else is he going to say? Because he's the guy who was responsible for trying to go and find one, and really didn't do anything to upgrade what going into the offseason. He said a quote on the radio right after the season that everybody east of the Pacific says we need an edge rusher, and I don't disagree. Didn't really do much to upgrade that position. So sure, the committee approach and the scheme approach sounds pretty good now because there's not much else for him to spin.
Are there any other holes that you think that the Giants are going to have to go out and try to fill between now and the season beginning?
I think you're more or less looking at what the roster is. I mean, sure, they'll scan the bargain bin for any, veteran free agents, but no, I mean, they don't have a lot of money. They're not going to make a big splash signing at this point. I think center is a pretty big hole, but they seem to sort of be crossing their fingers and hoping they can not get patched that by committee, but throw a bunch of guys at it and just hope someone emerges. But I think that's a weak spot. I think they'll bring John Halapio back, who was a starter last year. But again, no big splash signings at this point.
The Giants definitely wanted to upgrade their speed on defense. Did they accomplish that?
Yeah, and that was definitely a glaring hole. I think when you look at this defense, not only last year, last couple of years, it's just been pretty much a slow unit. And in free agency, they didn't really address it. James Bradbury, Blake Martinez, they're solid players, but they're not known for their speed. So in day three, that's really where they went after with a guy like Darnay Holmes, who I mentioned earlier, and some of the linebackers they took late. I mean, their best quality might be speed, and now that might translate more to special teams for those guys if they even make the roster. So let's not get carried away. It's not going to be a drastic change, but I think that's the right approach. They need to just get some athletes in here, get some speed, and hopefully one or two of those guys breaks through and becomes a contributor.
That's the point right there. They have to make the roster. They have all the speed on the back end of the draft, and those guys are less likely to make the final 53.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, when you got 7 picks on day 3, if 1 or 2 of them become starters, that's a home run. So the odds of all these 7th round picks actually contributing are pretty slim. But hey, like I said earlier, it's a crapshoot. So you get them on the roster, you get them in camp, and see what you got.
You can get all of his insights from The Athletic and following him on Twitter. Giants beat reporter Dan Duggan. Thanks so much for your time, man.
Thanks a lot, Steve.